Hi, this is Mark Grossarth from Heritage Family Credit Union. Heritage Family Credit Union is a proud sponsor of Bennington Chamber of Commerce Lunch and Learn series. I hope you find these seminars insightful and educational.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Matt Harrington with the Southwestern Vermont Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to the last of our series of Lunch and Learns for 2021. Thank you so much for tuning in. Some of you are tuning in right from Zoom, and some of you may be tuning in on Facebook. Welcome. We have to thank our partners, Catamount Access Television, or CAT TV, as well as GNAT, for partnering with us to broadcast not only to our members and our small businesses, but to those that are interested in some of these lunch and learns. These are such valuable programs and educational opportunities for our small businesses and communities. And so we want to thank our partners in doing that. With that, CAT TV will be broadcasting live on Facebook as we're doing this in real time. But there will also be recordings on their website, and they'll be broadcasting it on their traditional TV as well. I'm joined today by Heidi Borhill with the Richards Group. There's always a good conversation for us to have near the end of the year around healthcare, and I know Heidi will get into some of the dental and vision coverage. But perhaps more important than ever this year is how do we attract and retain employees? And so the healthcare and benefits packages come up not only for larger organizations or businesses that have been around for a while. We have heard this conversation so much over the last 6 months as we've come out of the pandemic and people need to get back to work, and we need our small businesses to attract these new workers. What benefits package can they put together to attract and retain young and new workers? And part of that is a great healthcare plan as well as a great dental and vision plan. So as always, I think Heidi, you've joined us. We were trying to count on our fingers, maybe 4 or 5 years now that you've done such a terrific job. Just an overview of the 2022 landscape for these packages. I know you're not going to get into too much detail. You can always give the Richards Group and Heidi a call. We use her in the chamber as well as our representative for our planned benefits. So I would strongly encourage you reaching out to Heidi after this if you have specific questions. But with no further ado, I do want to pass it over to Heidi. She's going to give a great overview of the healthcare and dental and vision landscape for 2022. Heidi, good to have you back with us.
Yeah, thank you so much, Matt. It has been a while. It goes by, it flies by. So yeah, I think this is definitely the time of year where employers think about offering benefit packages, or what can I offer my employees? Health insurance being a big one, as well as the dental and vision options. There are a lot of, just to generalize, I guess there are a lot of different ways that you can put these benefits in. There's no right or wrong way to do it. It's sort of, comfort level and maybe personal situations or something like that within the group. So basically, I guess what I'll start with is just your options as a small employer for health insurance. And as of right now, the chamber does not offer a health insurance option. It did a few years ago through an association health plan, and it was great while it lasted, but unfortunately it wasn't able to stay. So basically, as a small group, you do have limited options, but options nonetheless. And I'm going to actually share my screen and just show you what you will sort of be looking at if you were to offer health insurance, and what carriers are out there and all that stuff. Am I able to share my screen, Matt?
Yes, you should be able to.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay. Okay, so can everybody see my screen? And I will make sure that Matt has all of this information, all the PDFs, just because these plans and the way we sort of show them, it's difficult, it's small. So just bear with me. So right now, as it's been this way for the past few years. As a small employer, you can offer two carriers. You have that option. So it's still the case that MVP and Blue Cross Blue Shield are available to you. You can offer one, or you can offer both. You know, there are within those offerings similar plans and then identical plans. So I'll just start off with the standard plans. So right now, when you see a standard plan, and this will go for across the board, all these plans from platinum to the bronze, the standard plans for both carriers are exactly the same. So just to sort of take some of the guesswork out of it, if you're looking at this and you're just saying, I don't understand what's the difference between a standard plan and a non-standard plan. A standard plan is, the plan design is exactly the same for MVP as it is with Blue Cross Blue Shield. The only difference will be the premium. So that's the biggest change. This year, there were minimal changes for these two carriers. Big news for open enrollment is that if you did have Blue Cross Blue Shield, you actually received a decrease for the first time ever. They actually got a 7.8% decrease. That has not happened since I started doing this. And I don't know if anybody's actually seen a decrease on the exchange. So that actually is a very positive note to start off the open enrollment. And I feel like we earned it. We earned something fairly positive after the few years that we've had. So if you are on Blue Cross Blue Shield or considering Blue Cross Blue Shield, you will actually see a decrease in the premium amount. MVP requested it was a single digit increase, but they got less than a percentage increase. So right now, where there was a fairly large discrepancy between premiums, right now, or for 2022, that Blue Cross Blue Shield decrease and the very minimal increase from MVP actually brought those two premiums much closer together. So if that was always a deciding factor and you just went with the MVP because it was less expensive, now I would say would be the year to maybe consider going back to Blue Cross Blue Shield if you really liked it. So that's not to say that next year it won't increase again, but these are the type of things that you have to address every year, and you assess your situation every year. So there may or may not be some movement. It's totally up to you. So the next step is, so those are your standard plans. Again, plan design is exactly the same for MVP and Blue Cross Blue Shield. Red indicates plan changes. So there were actually no changes in the service category. So this plan, if you're on any of these plans, they're going to function exactly as they did or are in 2021. The only increases that you'll see are in deductible amounts and out-of-pocket max amounts. And that's something that goes up every year. So we should be sort of used to that whole dynamic. But other than that, there are no plan changes. Next, I'll just go to, this is a non-standard Blue Cross Blue Shield plan. So unlike these standard plans, each carrier has their version. So there's sort of always an answer to the other, but this is where Blue Cross Blue Shield will differ in plan design from MVP. These plans they have a wellness benefit attached to them. They have, I believe it's the select plan option, or excuse me, the preferred plan option actually have a 369 visit. So what that means is, everybody within that plan, if you're on an individual, gets 3 visits, or if you're on a 2-person, you get 6 visits. So that's sort of a perk to those plans. They have, high deductible options, as you will in the standard plans. High deductible option, just to give you a little tidbit about that. If you have a health savings account, you or are interested in opening one up, you do have to have that high deductible or that CDHP plan option if you want to contribute into your HSA account. So that's just something to be mindful of if you are considering putting one in or continuing on one. And as you'll see again, no plan changes in the service category. Everything that you'll see is its deductible and out-of-pocket max changes. Next, so this is now the MVP's non-standard plans. There's going to always be that similar option, but slightly different, whether it be in the deductible or out-of-pocket max. But same situation here, no service category changes. Your copays, your co-insurance is still exactly the same. So that's sort of just a very general overview of health insurance. As a small employer in Vermont, so that's anybody under 100, these are your plan options. On the exchange, there are technically other options that we can look into. It just requires a little bit more group detail. And that's something I'm happy to sort of discuss with you privately if you want, just because it does require personal and group information. So I guess that's it for health insurance. The next PDF that I'm going to go to is dental. And this dental benefit is actually offered through the chamber. So as a chamber member, you do benefit from these two benefits, dental and vision. And they are fantastic benefits. And we've had a lot of success just because of some very crucial details that we don't actually get going direct. And I will point those out. So this is your dental option through the chamber. Just like health insurance, there are no plan changes this year. So you will still have your 3 plan options, and the coverage levels will still be exactly the same. The only change for 2021 for the dental insurance is your premium. So I'll zoom in. So your premiums did go up. I don't want you guys. There we go. Can you guys see that? Matt, can you see that? Okay. So you did have a premium increase. It was minimal. It was maybe 5%. And honestly, the rates for VACE have not gone up in at least 5 to 6 years. You know, it was time to basically increase them. So not a huge hit, but you know, it does need to be addressed that and you should be notified, or you would have been notified at this point, that you will have premium increases this year. So now I'm going to go through this benefit real quickly. I don't know where to put you guys without hiding this. Okay. So for those of you that are new to this benefit or wondering how it works, as a group putting this in, and I can honestly say dental insurance, it's a huge perk. So health insurance is a totally different animal. It's a much larger expense for a company to endure than it would be for dental or a vision. So if you don't think that health insurance is in your budget for this year, something to consider might be a dental or a vision option, or both. Again, these are plans, or these are options, benefits that are very, very highly used. You go to the dentist every year, twice a year, and you have since you were 3. The same with vision. So again, these are high touch benefits at a very low cost. So this might help with some retention and attraction for those employees that you have or want to have. So for this specific plan, and as I said, for the vision, you actually don't need more than one person to participate. And that is the beauty of these plans. Honestly, as a small employer, we struggle with participation. A lot of companies, if you go direct, will ask you or require you to have, at least 2, maybe 9 or 10 or something like that. And as you guys know, you lose employees, you get employees, they come off, they come on, and it's just a hassle. So a huge benefit to the VACE benefits is that there's no minimum participation. You can have one person enroll and you're golden. And it could be the owner if you wanted. So for these plans, they work really well for everybody. And with the dental in particular, you can offer all 3 of these options. So it's not like you're just restricted to just one option. You do have 3 plan choices, and you can have one person on that plan. So for the plan 1, everything preventative is covered at 100% as it is in plan 2 and plan 3. When you get to the coverage B and C categories, that's where ND, that's where your benefit amount will start to change. And that's sort of, that's something where you need to assess your personal situation. If you have, root canal therapy, or you need fillings, option 1 might be the plan for you. If you have crowns, onlays, implants, more than you have fillings, option 2 might be good for you. So again, you don't have to feel restricted. Everything will still cover, every plan will cover preventative care at 100%. It's just within those coverages that, you can be a bit more specific and personal, if you will.
Heidi, before you I just want to make sure before you hop over to vision, we have 2 questions in the chat.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I'll read you. And we can either answer them at the end, but if we're on dental, they may be good answers for now. So one person said, if we have had Delta Dental, but are on our own and we switch to this, I'm imagining the base plus, the waiting period is waived, right? Question mark. So is the waiting period waived? So let's answer that question first.
Yeah. So so to be specific, if you have to be on a Northeast Delta Dental product, so you have to be within the same bucket or region, if you will. There have been situations where you're on a Northeast Delta or a Delta Dental product, let's say Wisconsin, and you've moved here. You do have to satisfy those wait periods again. It's not technically in that same pool of dentists or Delta Dental products. So if you're within the Northeast Delta Dental network, typically they do keep your waiting period if it's been waived. So you've satisfied it, then they typically waive that for you. But are you talking, you said an individual product?
Yeah, so this person was on Delta Dental on their own, but if they were to switch to the chamber plan, would that be waived? And I knowing this business, I would assume they're in the Northeast plan already, and they can also follow up with you after, but I want to just make sure that they get their question heard.
Yeah, and I do believe that is the case, and I can always just confirm. Again, I typically just go from group to group, so I guess that doesn't come up a bunch, but I'm happy just to confirm that. I would assume that would be the case, but we can just clarify with.
Question number 2 from another participant: does the Delta have a network, or can I use an MA provider, a Massachusetts provider?
So this Northeast Delta Dental is a national network, so you can use, you can go wherever you want to get coverage, as long as you have to, if you want to sort of benefit greater from this dental option, you do have to see a Northeast Delta Dental provider. And I've been hitting that a lot in groups, just making sure that you're clear and you ask the right question, because we've definitely run into issues. You can go wherever you want, and technically you can go to a dentist that does not accept insurance, dental insurance. But as I said, you will just benefit that much more if you go to an in-network provider. And so that's something that you can just double check on their website. There's a Find a Dentist tool. I'm happy to help look them up. But that is sort of the key wording. If you are just calling and asking your dentist, are you an in-network provider? Because as I said, most dentist office will just take whatever and get paid whatever they want. But a Northeast Delta Dental in-network dentist is where you want to look to go if you can help it.
Okay. And those were those 2 questions so far. Again, if you have questions on Facebook or those on the Zoom call, feel free to put them in the comment bar. We'll try and get to them. And back to you, Heidi.
Cool. So the last plan that I just want to look at quickly is that plan 3. So this is sort of your preventative coverage option, or your, If you don't have anything that falls into coverage C or D, and you really do just go for your 2 annual cleanings a year, this is a plan that I would consider if you wanted to. But again, that's a personal situation. If it doesn't work for you, then you have those 2 other options. But as you'll see, you do not have coverage for crowns or onlays or implants or anything like that. So if that did happen and you were enrolled in that plan, it would not be covered. So all these options do have what's called the HOW program. And I do think it's an important feature of the plans. So the HOW program is basically an option for individuals who need additional cleanings. So as it stands right now, these plans offer you 2 annual cleanings a year at no cost. If you are an individual that needs additional cleanings, you, depending on your score, so basically it's a score that your hygienist, it's a form that your hygienist fills out. You don't have to do it. It's up to them. Based on your score, you could potentially get 2 additional cleanings free of charge. So you do have to sort of initiate that conversation. But if you're that individual, that is an option. That's always a perk. And that's basically it for the dental. And I'm going to, at the end of this, when I'm done with the vision, I will just sort of sum up how, if you are interested in any of these, you would enroll. Again, just like the plan designs, the actual group enrollment is simple as well. All right, so this is tiny. And a group of mine actually pointed out how, what a coincidence, because it's vision insurance. I hadn't made that connection. I was like, oh, that's funny. So this is your vision option. Oops. Here we go. Okay, so the vision option through the chamber is with VSP. VSP, just like Northeast Delta Dental, is a national provider. So, if you are right on a different state line or something like that, and that's where your providers are, that's fine. They just have to, again, take VSP. There are out-of-network coverages, but again, not as great as if you did see an in-network eye doctor. So there is only one plan option for vision, unlike dental, but this is a very good option. It's a rich benefit. We're very happy with this design, so we haven't had any issue, honestly, with it. And just like with the dental, you can have one person enroll. So this, even if you didn't have one person, as long as you're a chamber member, you can always offer it. And then again, a huge perk for employees at very little cost to the employer. So I've had employers basically take on the whole premium because, as you'll see, it's a very inexpensive benefit. So let's just start up at the top. So you will have one wellness exam per year at a copay of $10. You go in, you get your annual eye exam, $10 copay. If you have glasses and you need to make a separate exam for that, they need to measure your eyeballs, whatever it is. I was like, oh, I didn't even know. That is a $25 copay, and then you're given allowances to put towards, your frames or your featured frame brand. So you can either get it at your eye doctor, or you can go online. VSP does have an online store, so there are lots of different ways that you can get eyeglasses. So if you had a trendy, like a Bob's Eyewear or something like that, you could always get them off of it and submit that invoice or that payment and get some sort of benefit. It wouldn't be as great, again, as if you were to go to a VSP provider. And that's every other calendar year. So that means you do have to alternate. So if you get frames one year, you can't get frames the next year. So lenses, you do get single vision lenses or line bifocal lenses every year. So again, when you go in for your glass exam, you are covered for that lens. And then enhancements, there's no copay, and you do get that every year as well. Contact lenses, you get $130. So this is every calendar year. So this is actually better benefit than what I have. Mine is every other, you alternate, but this you actually do get $130 every year for contact. And then just some additional savings as well. So glasses and sunglasses and stuff like that. If you go to that VSP.com, again, there's an online store that is specific to VSP. So it kind of takes some of the guesswork out of it on how much you'll get. And below, this is actually, I like this little feature. It does show you what you will get for out-of-network providers. So if you know that you go to an eye doctor that is not in network, this is what you could get up to for those. And then finally, for this year, just like the dental, we did see an increase. So last year it was $12 for a single. This year it's $14. So again, these benefits just hadn't seen an increase in ages, and we did need to sort of bump up the price a bit, but still a very reasonable benefit. And again, one that employees truly appreciate, which is cool.
So for the layman on the call and on Facebook, when you're looking at 14, and if you went back to Vision, it's 14 per month per employee.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah, so all the premium amounts shown on Vision, dental, and on health insurance, those will be the full premium amounts. And, to sort of, that's your benefit, that's your full, that's what you're looking at, to put on my broker hat, that's where we would sort of help you develop a benefit or a contribution amount that would be attractive to your employees. So those are the amounts we use, and then we sort of fiddle with percentages and stuff like that and just show you sort of what your overall cost would be as an employer. We go as far as to break it down per paycheck for you, and just sort of help you sort of gauge where other employers are in the state of Vermont your size, because we have a lot of them. But that's all I have. I see that there are 2 questions though.
We've answered those questions before. Any other questions? And usually there's a pretty quick lunch and learn, especially when the rates change very little, as Heidi has pointed out. So just looking at Facebook, any questions on there, or any final questions from the Zoom call? I will put in the show link. So, we have a great partnership with Heidi and her team at the Richards Group. We do have a dedicated web page for the chamber that is called, and I just put it in the link, benefit packages. So if you go to swvtchamber.com and you go to the main page and you go under the membership tab, about halfway down, you're going to see benefit packages. You can go over there. That is where all the 2022 information is for, at least for VACE Plus. So that's the vision and the dental that Heidi talked about, and you can download those. Obviously, the Richards Group and Heidi available to talk with you about healthcare. And we have some exciting news coming out for more features with our benefit packages. We won't spill the beans yet, but if you head on over to that page, you're going to start to see some of the additional things we're adding to as a chamber and to our members, because as we started out the program, we're all tight with our staffing and our workforce. We're trying to attract new and possibly young people that want a multitude of benefits as they join your organization or your small business. So again, my team at the chamber, we've just been pulling away and trying to think about different ways we can add just a little bit more attractiveness to some of your packages. So head on over to the chamber's website, swvtchamber.com. Go look at some of those benefit packages, and we'll have more news in January with a couple additional rollouts that we think are going to help you as you attract staffing. Heidi, any final comment there? I know you've put your email in the show notes. But anything final that, as we head on into 2022, anything we should be aware of from a healthcare or insurance background industry?
Nothing to be aware. We certainly covered the core benefits, I would say, of a lot of businesses. And as I said at the beginning, this might not be the situation for you. So it's it's not a one size fits all. And I think you just, I'm happy again to sit down with whoever and just sort of hash this out for you, because it isn't easy and it is overwhelming. And it yeah. So yeah, if you just need any help, there's my email. Happy to sort of like sit down and just figure it out for you, whether it be numbers or just plans, or because it's it's not an easy, and it's not a little number for sure. So we get it. Just let me know.
Two questions have popped up, which is great. So we want to make sure that we answer those. Is it true that if we offer healthcare, then our employees will not be eligible for the subsidies from the American Rescue Plan? Have you heard anything around that, Heidi?
Yeah, and I do think that has come up a few times actually, and that's one of the bigger struggles this year, is that because of the increase in that, employers are they're struggling trying to figure out what to do, if to add it, because you do technically take away that option of receiving any of those funds, or just an exchange enrollment or a subsidy or something like that. Because as you guys know, if you enroll as an individual, one of the questions is, do you offer, or are you offered employer sponsored coverage? And is it affordable, or, stuff like that. So yeah, it does affect it. And again, that's a struggle, because that's such a big number this year that a lot of employers just can't make you whole. But honestly, the only thing that we can say is that technically is only for this year as of right now. I think everything is subject to change, but as of right now, it is just for the 2022 year. And so if you wanted to put it in for 2023, that's always an option as well.
Okay. I think there's another question which may be more directed to the chamber. Is there anything for group disability or life insurance? So I'll go first, and then Heidi, you can chime in from the Richards group. So we are exploring a 401k package that would, again, use kind of that group process and make things more affordable and cheaper. So we are looking to roll that out in January. I think it's a good question, Denise, who's asking the question, group disability and life insurance. Nothing currently through a group rate from the chamber, but we will definitely reach out to the providers of the MEAP program that will roll out in January. Potentially. We need some board approval on that, but that looks like where we're heading. But I'll leave it also to you, Heidi, and just kind of the bigger umbrella of the Richards group, anything around group disability or life insurance as well.
Yeah, any group product, any group ancillary product is a really good added benefit. Again, health insurance is a really big number, and your group benefit or your ancillary option is fairly inexpensive, and again, additional benefit that you can add at a smaller cost. So we are putting these in a lot. It's based off of your group specifically. So I put life insurance in for, let's say, a group of 10 for $52 a month for everybody, and that's a $10,000 life insurance policy. So at the Richards Group, we do, not only do we do health insurance and the dental and the vision, but we also put in those lines of coverage as well on a group basis. So again, I would need that group information in order to do it, but it's a very simple process, and at least you can look at a number.
Yeah, and I think always the overview here with Heidi is, give Heidi a call. Some of this stuff, is just sensitive information, and she needs more information. So this is just kind of an overview and intro. Please give her a call or an email. Her email, hbourhill, BOURHILL at therichardsgrp.com. Again, we'll get that out to everybody. And you can even shoot me an email if you want to be connected with Heidi. That's kind of the idea here, is that after this lunch and learn, she can take it offline for you and work with you. So that's what we want to see happen. Any final questions? And again, shoot us an email if anything comes up. We want to thank Catamount Access Television, who is producing this show and all our Lunch and Learns for 2021. We've got some new things coming out in 2022 that we'll be working on this fall and we'll roll out next year. As I mentioned, some of that benefits package, but also some of our educational programming. We hope to kind of do something different next year. So stay tuned for that. We do have to thank GNAT as well. I see Tammy on the call. GNAT is just a great partner in that they also take some of the work and filming that Cat TV has done in the South Shire, and they share it up with our partners and members in the North Shire. So always a great partnership all around with our local access television. So we want to thank both of them, and really, thank you, Mike Cutler and Cat TV, because this has been another season for us, and we're wrapping up the season. This is our last Lunch and Learn, and we're just so happy to get everybody on the call. I will put out just another plug. We do have a young professional event tonight at Pastime Pinball up in Manchester. So if you have some young professionals, another great way as a benefit to your young people, your young workforce, to let them know there are other young people in Vermont. So please just hop on over to shiresyp.com and you'll be able to see all the events coming up. Tonight, we're at the Pastime Pinball. Next month, for our holidays, we're going to be at Miller's Toll. So check that one out. And I should mention, we're rolling out our annual holiday mixer. We're going to really try to attempt that. We'll keep an eye on the pandemic, but hopefully we're rolling out that that mixer, and that'll be in December at Coggins Auto Group. And so again, you can head on over to swvtchamber.com. But those are going to be the next final couple things we do this year, and then we're putting a button on 2021, and hopefully 2022 is a little bit smoother for all of us. And thank you, Heidi, again for hopping on. Thank you to the Richards Group for all your good information and your partnership. And maybe we'll see you next time in November next year.
We'll see you around. Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
You too.
Hi, this is Mark Grossarth from Heritage Family Credit Union. Heritage Family Credit Union is a proud sponsor of Bennington Chamber of Commerce Lunch and Learn series. I hope you find these seminars insightful and educational.